Welcome to Door Bumper Clear. My name is Casey Boat, the host sometimes and official babysitter of these guys.
Speaking of babies.
Well, yeah. Yep. TJ, who are you? What happened?
What happened? You want me to describe it? I can explain how this happened. If you
We're really starting off strong. Yes.
I'm
baby boat.
happy for
Well, I
you.
guess there's probably a bunch of baby boats.
So somebody sent me a tweet over the winter, and it said, if I were Chad Boat, I would keep Casey pregnant. So I sent the tweet to Casey, and ironically, she was already pregnant.
Good work.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yes.
So she said she was going to use it for her baby announcement, but she didn't.
Well, I figured maybe a picture with Chloe is classier. There were a few more of like, it's about time, Chad, or congratulations, Chad. Nothing for me, but yes, thank you. We'll keep the show rolling, though. There's
The men do the heavy lifting, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of it.
True.
Whatever.
100%.
TJ, who did you spot for this weekend?
Oh, I had who did I have? I had
It was a long week.
it's been a long week. I had the guy that's famously quoted, I'm going to put my foot on the floor and I'm either going to meet God or see a checkered flag. So that was Andy J in the ARCA race.
I seen the heat that his car was in the next restart.
Yeah, we almost met God. So I had Bailey Curry in the trucks and Brad, of course. So long week though.
Brett Griffin spotter this year for Richard Childress Racing. I'm going to do
another
7
announcement.
Cup races. And number one on my list is Chicago Street Course for all you haters out there. So I'll see y'all in Chicago.
That's karma.
ironic.
Yeah,
How about St. Louis?
karma.
I'm going to St. Louis, too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to hang out with Freddie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
There's a lot of fringe benefits in that town if you're around Freddie.
allegedly.
Which driver?
Just say no.
I can't tell you which driver.
Oh
yet.
my gosh.
Some shit's a secret. Come on.
Like we don't probably already.
Oh,
can't.
right.
If we guess it, will you say it?
I can't tell
yeah,
you. I can't confirm or deny anything
Oh,
else.
jeez.
What's up, Freddie Kraft, spotter for Kyle Sieg. Unfortunately, didn't make the race last night. Who'd I have in trucks? Ty Dillon.
Long week, Freddie.
6 laps in the truck race. Justin Bonsignor, 20 laps in the ARCA race. So my weekend was pretty shitty until our new guest in the studio, Bubba Wallace, picked up the slack last night and got us a top 5 out of the deal. What's up, B?
What up, homies? About time you guys invited me on the show.
We've invited you
tweeting-
before.
Listen here. Bullshit. Son of a bitch is so dumb that he's been on the show before. Just one time. I've never been on it.
This
It was
before didn't
virtual. It was
count.
virtual,
Yeah,
but
no.
you were still on the show. I got an episode that says Bubba Wallace, DVC.
Yeah.
So on that show, I asked you on that literally on the show. I said, "Have you talked to Michael Jordan?" And you said no. And it wasn't a month later you were driving for him. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because Freddie hits me under the table. He's like, "You can't say that." I was like, "Why not?"
I was
yeah,
like,
I remember that.
because we had just talked about it. So me and Bubba had just talked about it literally like the day before that podcast. He's like, I think I'm going to drive.
I had not talked to him.
23. And I hadn't talked to Bubba. I mean, I hadn't talked to Brett. So then I'm sitting on the show and I'm like, we're just going. He goes, you talked to Michael Jordan? I'm like, what? Yo. I'm like, what the f-? I'm like, Bubba's going to think I went back and told Brett about this yesterday. We
He
just
did.
talked
He told
about
me.
this shit. Right.
Hey, by the way, we're driving for him.
I love it.
Oh, man. What's up? How was your week in Daytona?
My week?
Oh,
My
God. I
month.
forgot. You moved there.
I moved there.
So I tried to get Bubba to come on. I said, when are you going to Daytona? So he said Thursday. So I thought he meant Thursday, like the week leading up to the 500 or something. And I was like, all right, you want to do the episode after the Clash? He's like, no, I'm going to be in Florida. I'm like, oh, you mean you're leaving Thursday as in like tomorrow? This is back like the beginning.
January
Yeah, like
18th,
January. So then he just moved to Florida for a month.
no income
Damn.
tax there.
I don't think it works if you just live there for a
it
month.
doesn't work. Hell, we get charged in every state we race in, so it don't matter.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did you like live in the motorhome? Or
Yeah.
Why? I mean, of all places.
My motorhome's nice, by the way, Kate.
I mean, no, but I'm talking about Florida.
Damn, it's
I'm
nicer than
from-
my house.
Damn.
You go to Florida all the time, Casey.
I know I'm from there. I'm just saying why.
Well, so I had to go down for IMSA, right? And
Yep.
so we did the roar.
Great experience.
We did the roar. And I was asked by this. I appreciate Toyota for, listening to me and wanting to help me out. And so I've never paid attention to the Rolex race until the green flag dropped and then the checker flag fell. That was it. So they're like, hey, we got an opportunity. You want to do the roar? And I'm like, yeah, sign me up. What the roar? I didn't find out what the roar was until the roar was over with. We're down there testing. And they're like, all right, well, that was the roar. And I'm like, oh, so I'm not racing? They're like, no, we'll race next weekend. I was completely lost doing that.
That's funny.
I had no idea. So we went down for, that was 3 days of testing, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Were you there, Spotting?
No, we didn't go to the roar. We came down midweek.
Gotcha. So then I flew back home. Amanda was the one that stayed down for a full month. I had to come back for a couple production days. But the weather was a little bit nicer down there, and you just kind of got away for a little bit. It wasn't really vacation because there's not to do in Daytona. But it was just nice to get away for a little bit and enjoy the Florida weather.
I mean, we can cut this if you can't talk about it, but this son of a got disqualified twice in the same race, I think.
Twice.
How's that happen?
He got disqualified in qualifying because I guess he touched the car or something.
So, yeah. I got out
What?
qualifying. I pull down pit road, and I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to go any faster. So I'm getting out, and the team's talking to me, and they're like, good job. And I'm getting out, sit there, talk to them, shut the door. I get back to the bus, and Kevin Conway, he was kind of like, he's running that whole deal for Smooge over there. And he was in the second team car. Well, he calls me. He's like, hey, are you around? I'm like, yeah, what's up? He's like, can you come back over here? We got something on our hands. And I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, we qualified 20th. There's 27 cars. Qualified 20th. So I called him. I'm like, what's up? He was like, they're DQing you for getting out of the car. I'm like, what? And so we go down there and told IMSA, like, hey, I was doing an interview. Like, I had to get out, promoting the sport. Not the case. Just got out because that's what we usually do. And I come to find out if they DQ'd us. It wasn't because I got out. It was because I touched the door to close it.
Wow.
Touching the car. Yeah. So I didn't know that. So we went from 20th to 27th. By lap 1, I was back to 20th.
Yeah, big difference there.
Yeah, big difference. And then I go run my stint, and I'm all done. And the team's like, all right, well, we're going to run John Hunter next, and then Corey Haim's going to finish us out. So I think you're pretty good. You ran your allotted time. Nope, I didn't. So you queued.
Yeah, you have like a mandatory amount of time you have
I had
to
to run
drive.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
39 minutes. 20 seconds for old B. Wallace. Solid. DQ'd.
DQ'd
Again.
Again.
That's not
We
fun.
blew up with 8 minutes to go. DQ'd.
And you guys complain about the NASCAR.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on continuing on to Daytona, let's move on to this weather fun-filled week.
TJ, how many cars did you wreck down there? Just curious.
You'd like.
Oh, he say none. He'll tell you none. He didn't do anything wrong.
you mean how many? Nah, like
How many cars did Brad drive through?
I usually set it by how many caught on fire.
Dude, it's common denominator.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot.
21. 2 years ago, he dumped 21.
Well, that was bad. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Yeah, that was really that first year. Yeah, that was.
He
really
jumped
bad.
to 21 this weekend.
Well, 21's in a bad spot.
Yeah, was he
Yeah,
riding
because
the
he's in
middle
front of
by
you.
himself? Yeah,
No, he was in the
he
whole
happened to
other
be in
lane.
front
Should
of
have
the
been in a better
six.
spot.
Yeah.
Damn it, Harrison.
Yeah, he was in a very bad scenario.
Yeah, yeah. There's a car outside me that's getting pushed by Brad. That's a bad spot. I got to keep that in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bub, there's a guy outside with Brad on his bumper. You might want to just move to the left as far as you can.
I mean, I think if you look at the common denominators, though, it's guys that don't.
There's one common denominator.
No, there's.
It's Brad Keselowski.
It's the guy in the 6 behind him.
That's what you would say. I know.
I don't know which one of you idiots did it last night, but there was somebody on Couch Racing that wrote Brad Push with just a lowercase r, so it said bad push like we always.
Yeah. That's
Is your radio working during all that? I'm just curious.
well, so
Yeah, my question is, like, if you want to talk about it, then
we're talking.
Oh,
then we can get into why.
we
like,
talking about it.
we could talk about it because
Show me the data.
if you want to see how these happen, don't. I mean, the only reason that Denny didn't cause a big wreck in that dual race because he pulled up 7 mile an hour, 6-7 mile an hour slower than the guy coming to him is because McDowell got shuffled out right there. Otherwise, there's probably a bunch of us that are going to wreck right there. And these guys are pulling up.
Oh, we didn't wreck, right?
Thank God, because one
Thank
got
God.
shuffled out of line.
Thank God.
I mean, we were all going to be piled into that one. These guys are pulling up with no run, and they just put the brakes on, and you don't really, like like Talladega, Hostfar pulls up in front of Brad. Oh, my car doesn't drive very good, but I'm going to pull up and try to get pushed to the front. So if you pull up to the third lane, what do you expect to have happen? If you go to the third lane, what are you doing it for?
Yeah, you're trying to go forward.
You're trying to go forward. But if you can't take a push and your car's driving like crap, then why would you pull to the third lane without, first of all, no momentum? Like if you're going to go third lane, what do? You build a run, you start it, you pull it.
Yeah.
These guys are pulling up there, and the kid's spotting for the 42s. Like I told him to go up there.
Who's spotting for him?
Blanchard.
It's like, but
Toe.
this is where you like do your homework, like learn how these guys like
I
do.
didn't think he did. He didn't do anything wrong. They didn't like pull up with no momentum. They pulled up and you didn't catch them till off of 4. Like it wasn't like they pulled up and stacked you up.
By the time we got back, well, no, he stacked us up in 3 and 4. He absolutely stacked us up. We had to hit the brakes because John Hunter pulled up in the middle of the corner, and then we came back to him.
I didn't think that was a bad pull. I would have done
No, that wasn't, but that formed the gap, and then he just stays up there to do that, and then we got a guy pushing us to him, so we're going to have more of a run. So the block started in 3 and 4 in the middle of the corner when he was doing I'm kind of going to come up, but I'm not going to come up. So Brad hits the brakes, and then the gap forms, and then we got the guy shoving us because we're in the third lane. We're trying to go forward, and you can only stay up there when you get to the guy, and then you're pushing a guy that you really haven't had a lot of experience, and everyone's lined up. And John Hunter, they just come off center a little bit, and Brad thinks he's going to be here, and John Hunter moves here 2 feet. All it takes is 2 feet with them bumpers. And when you come back, you're going to get hooked. So,
Guys, I think you had
It's
TJ
just a-
talking more
it's
than
just a-
he's ever talked on
Probably.
this show.
It's just a
I
coincidence.
fell asleep twice during that deal.
Well, everybody on Twitter wanted
like
to know
it's like
what
the first
TJ's
stage.
take was.
There we go.
yeah. Well, I mean, do you, learn these guys need to learn the etiquette of trying to pull that lane if you're going to do it. Don't just go up there.
Listen, I think that deal was, I think that I thought Brad was more at fault on Thursday night than he was on Sunday or Monday, whatever day it was. But because I think that deal was, I don't think John Hunter by any means was out of line for making the move.
He wasn't way slower anyway.
And then I think that he just got light off of 4 and Brad hit him at the wrong time and turned him. I don't think that was.
He wasn't
like,
stacking him
It
up
wasn't
back
like he
there.
was shoving him and they got turned.
Yeah.
But that deal on Thursday night where he pushed the 8 through the back of the 24. That was a little bit questionable, especially when Brad gets on TV and says he didn't know the 24 was in that.
Well, so what happened is,
Oh, that's 100% your fault.
Notice that.
so what happened is when Blaney went to throw that block, Blaney went to move up and then came back. How many did you spot this weekend?
No, but I watch you
Good.
wreck out the field every fucking 30 minutes. Every time they come back from commercial to 6 and wreck somebody else.
Well, I'm glad you were there to witness it, Brett. Brad said he couldn't see the 24 or the 24 because
He said he didn't know he was there.
yes, because when Blaney went to move up, the 24 reacted in front of him, and Brad can't. Then the 12 came back, and as soon as we started pushing him, I'm yelling tight, 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 tight. But Brad didn't know there was still somebody in front of him because the runs happen so fast that I'm yelling tight, and by the time Brad lifts, they're already basically tight. So just
Now on to another wreck that happened, and Jeff Cluck tweeted this out.
who
Jeff Cluck.
Jeff
Cluck.
Cluck.
said?
Oh, here we go again.
Did you hear
Bob
that?
Jeff
Pockcrass and Jeff
Cluck.
Cluck.
What?
You're the worst. He
I don't make you say this shit.
out a few of the comments that Alex had to make about, causing the big one. And Bubba, this is for you. He said he didn't even know what happened, that he had no idea he caused it. Do you guys just black out? Because I feel like this is what we talked about with Ross too, where
You can't see.
or you just make it up.
So Alex Bowman is pushing the 24.
Seen
The
that.
24 causes a wreck, and Alex did not know what caused the wreck. He said he didn't know.
Right.
Said he couldn't see it.
Did he not know he was pushing 24?
He said, Jeff said, on the wreck with the bump, were you all just going for it? And what happened there? And he said, yeah, I didn't really see what started it. I feel like it started in the third lane.
It did, right when you pushed William out of shape and he hooked the guys in the third lane.
Yeah, interesting. I don't know. I would have, if I was Alex, if that was me in that scenario, I would, that one's on me for sure.
Let me ask you this, though. I mean, you've been doing this a long time, and you're good at play racing, super speedway racing, whatever we want to call it. How much over the years has your ability to see gone down from when you started?
A lot. Actually, I take that back because I don't remember my first one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Usually
No,
the first one's the
I was
best one.
My
finished
first
second.
one. No. My first one was when Joel was spotting for me in the 43. in the Speedway, in the Cup car.
Oh, that's right.
In
July race.
Yeah, July race in 17. And I don't remember, but I've always been like the guy to the spotters probably talk shit about us, but I'm always left. I'm always looking the whole race. I was super mindful of it because I didn't want to eat my words that I've been trying to preach to Harrison, who's run over me 3 times now, or Rajah when I went to his ass after the truck race. But it's always being aware. When I'm pushing somebody and like we're trying to go forward, that's the only time I'm looking at that bumper to make sure I'm lined up. Other than that, I am spotting myself.
Thank God.
Yeah, because we got homeboy over here. Logano's leading both duels here. Like how the that happened? But I am always I am always looking 10 car lengths up ahead of me. So
you fade left so you can see.
yes,
Yeah.
and that puts me in a bad spot with the bottom line because if I'm running top, bottom line's there.
It
Yeah,
gets
for
close.
sure, it gets very close.
That left rear gets close.
Yeah, but I'm mindful of that too. I'm like, okay, I'm crowding these guys. Let me come up. But I want to see what's happening because I see who's around me. I'm like, all right, you're fine. But, they're getting dicey up there. I need to watch this to call it in case he doesn't see it in that split second.
So I don't remember what year it changed, but I remember after practice, Elliott sat me down and he said, look, you're phenomenal at keeping me updated on the runs and the gaps. I can't see anymore out front. You got to tell me the gap in front of the car that I'm behind. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, holy cow. Yeah. So I mean, for you guys, when Alex says he didn't see it, he obviously saw himself pushing the 24, but he may not have saw what happened.
Yeah, but it's usually like, I didn't see the car in front of the 24 wreck. You turned the 24 into the 6 into the 22.
24 goes.
Yeah.
Pretty sure you should see that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now, Freddie, would you typically tell Bubba, like, that
So, like, in that scenario, they looked like they were hooked up and they were rolling pretty good, pushing them. So, at that point, I'm just counting Bubba down to what we're going to hit, with what William was going to run into. It's 3, 2, 1 tight. And I think what got screwy was, like, you guys, not that you did anything wrong, like, you pulled down a little bit more, and William tried to, like, change lanes to fill the middle. And I think he was, like, when he started to move at any time, like, once he moved, like, that push got him out of shape.
You can't move with the Chevy bumpers that well.
Yeah.
You can't change lanes with those bumpers.
You know what's funny about that is, like, I go back to last year, and it was about to happen last night, but I am so like, I'm not going to push in the corners. Like, I don't want to cause a big wreck. Down the straightaways, I'll push you all I can, try to be center. My batting record is pretty good at not causing a wreck.
Great.
Here we go. Just wadded up the field in Atlanta.
Yep, here we go.
I'll wreck myself like I did last year. That's okay. But when it's last lap, obviously everything's out the window. I'm like, how in the hell are we not crashing right now? Because I remember pushing the 8 for a whole corner or a whole lap last year, and super easy. But 50 laps into the race, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna crash him. Other than that, I'm like, hang on, motherfucker, here we go.
Yeah, that push at the end of the backstretch, like you gotta, and if you're changing lanes, that's where it gets dicey because the guy pushing, and finally, like I saw Brad, and I thought we were actually probably going to wreck with the 1 car because the 1 was not going to relinquish the front, the lead without.
That's
him.
when I started telling. We were having our own issues at that point. I'm like, they're gonna wreck. It's just that 1 is over here just being ridiculous.
I mean, he had the whole track covered. So, but we finally got inside the 1, and I'm like, we're gonna. And we wanted to get to the lead, so and 24 was going with us, so I think we could have cleared the 1, but. Never really got.
The thing that drives me crazy about plate racing is like the 2 guys that start the big one and wreck the whole field, finish first and second. It's like son of a bitch.
And that was honestly some of the best super speedway racing with this package that I've seen at the very end there. Whenever they were dicing it up front, there was almost a wreck into 1, maybe a few laps before that. You remember that? Like, did you see them all lifted?
Yeah,
I mean, there was almost a big wreck into 1, and everybody lifted and took care of each other, and it was like. Oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, and it was.
I'll tell you what's not cool is this package. I hate this package. It's the worst. Like, we were literally riding around out there 4 seconds off the pace in the beginning of the race. Like, what the fuck?
What's minimum speed?
Y'all were running 52 flats as a pack.
Wow.
I don't know if it ever was it that slow.
Dude, it was like a 5170, 170 miles an hour is what y'all were doing.
Yeah.
AJ Allmendinger was running by himself faster than y'all were.
It's just I get it. Like I see people and Gluck's polls are like 80% great race, And I'm like, it must look great on television because
I always ask Amanda after the race. I sit there in the bus, and I was like, well, how'd it look? She'll say, yeah, it was boring. And I was like, last night, boring race? She was like, no, it was crazy.
That's what I think
it
we're saying the same thing.
it's because there's technically comers and goers. Like the whole race, somebody was willing to drive to the front, but it's such fool's gold. Like you're like, all right, I'm gonna drive to the front. All right, great. I come down pit road, now I'm last again. And you can't JR, one of our engineers, said it best, I thought, yesterday in our pre-race stuff. He's like, this is 3 duels. It's 3 duels. So you go out there, you ride around for 40 laps, save whatever fuel you can, come into pits, hope you cycle to the front, and now you got to run a 20-lap, stage to the end.
Yeah.
It's like you could drive up there. Go ahead. Like a couple times, like normally in years past, me and Bubba would take that top line every time. I knew he was going. And we would just drive to the front and be leading or control the race. Well, it was pointless to do that yesterday because we'd come down pit road, need 1 more second of fuel than everybody else, and now you're last again. It's like
Kyle has a tire problem.
Yeah.
And normally when you get mired in the back, Daytona's, it's tough to get back up through. It is. And he drove right back to the front.
If you're willing to go, like you could drive by the whole field. They're running like 50. The leaders are running 50% throttle leading the race.
Yeah. I seen 20% one time for a lap on my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I guess if it looks good on TV, we're never going to change it. But it's boring. Like it's. I used to love spotting these races. I used to look forward to these, and now I dread it because you don't even know what you should be doing. Like you don't know, and it seems
you're not racing until the very end.
Yeah, the last 20 laps.
Yeah.
A friend of mine texted me yesterday, and she's like, "Oh, it's going to be, can you delay the start any? I'm not going to be home from work until 5 o'clock." I'm like, "Don't worry, we ain't going to race till 7:30." And that's just like the 7:30 was like the big one. It was like 7:35, and she texted me. She's like, "Oh, you were right," but it's just like I don't know. It just sucks. Like it just sucks because you could visually, maybe the average fan can't, but like the guys that have done it forever, like you could just sit up there and going, this is slow. Like we're really slow.
How do you fix it?
I don't know.
I was thinking about that. You can't get like the stage. It's not a stage thing.
No, it's
because it's the fuel capacity, right?
You're gonna save fuel no matter what.
Exactly. You're gonna save fuel. So I don't know.
Yeah, we saw it. I think it came to fruition, as TJ likes to say. The year Ricky won, was that last year?
Yep.
When he was just the one, like he had like topped off one restart before the last one, and when then we all came down and he just put less fuel in, cycled to the lead and won the race, or cycled to the front and won the race, and it was like everybody's like, well, if we just put less fuel in the last pit stop, like we're all going to be in good shape. So now that's all we do. Like, when have you ever seen the whole field come down pit road on a lap 10 caution? That's what we all did yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like it's just I don't know how you fix it, but man, it's not fun. And then like we were talking about like strategy wise, I was like, the only thing we can't do is become last at the end of the race. Like you just can't do it because there's nowhere to go. Like you might be able to get up there like and get in the top 10 maybe, but and then so it just breaks. Like we got lucky yesterday, like 3 or 4 guys decided to go to the top and we just filled the middle and found some holes. But like if those guys don't go to the top, like you're just gonna ride around 2x2 and finish 15th or something like that. So it's just hard.
One thing I noticed too, William gets out of the car and he looks like he's just left a barbershop. Like he's not sweating. What is making y'all so much more cool inside the
Bubba was
car?
probably sweating. He's
fine.
probably sweating right now.
He's sweating now.
I was with that bright ass light on the green screen.
The titty light, you don't like
we
that?
call it. Now you'll never unsee it now. You'll never unsee it.
Just damn, I'm lost.
Is it the cool shirts? What is it?
It's cool shirts for sure. That helped me out a lot. But also, I mean, it was pretty cold last night.
It was chilly.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it was cold. It was really cold.
So that helped out. But yeah, we got our 23 stuff is solid. Everybody at 2311 does a solid job of making sure the drivers are cool. But yeah, I was good.
Of all the things that we saw in the broadcast, I would say probably when y'all looked the damn toughest you ever looked was when they went back in one of the wrecks and they actually were showing the in-car cameras and how violent it is inside the car. Mm-hmm. And they made a comment that this new wheel, the new steering pinions and all the crap y'all got in there now, like it'll snap your wrist worse than the other ones.
Yeah, did Blaney get his hand caught?
Blaney got his hand caught. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be careful. I don't know if I've had any close calls with the wheel.
We are so this week.
Yeah, he gonna be in a sling and wreck the field.
Just a different type, different feel. Everything with this next gen car. So definitely have to be mindful for sure. And it's hard because I think he's got sideswiped or something. I didn't see that wreck. Or I didn't see him in that wreck, but Amanda says like he hit the wall or something and that got him. So
Yeah.
You can see it
it'll get
clearly
you.
on the replay.
Can you? Yeah.
You know, it's like I remember the first person I really remember letting go of the wheel was Danica. Remember when?
Oh, yeah, because she came over from IndyCar.
Yeah.
And then
she
there
did.
was drama around whether that was accurate or if that was.
Yeah. Well, Harvick said of all the Cup cars he's driven, this one is the most violent with a wheel.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
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 eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What about the finish? I know, obviously, that probably was the most exciting part of the race, but I know, Brett, you were going back and forth on Twitter around.
I
how
thought
they
the finish
called it.
sucked
That's surprising.
because, I mean, it's the Daytona 500. It's the biggest race of the year. You've waited 2 days for it to stop raining, and it just comes down to a crash. And at what point they throw the caution? And TV never really did a good job before they went off the air to come back and say, this is when the caution lights come on, or this is the shot that we're using to determine the Daytona 500. There was an angle on TV, and boy, they went away from it really fast where it appeared Bowman was in the lead when the caution lights came on. And when I say in the lead, I'm talking by a full car length in the lead. Yeah. But no, we didn't use that one. And then they declare William Byron the winner, and it's like, man, you guys are opening a can of worms here. And I still haven't seen video proof of when all the caution lights came on, who was where.
I need to see what the rule book says, because if it says when you can see clearly from the one video I saw, the green light shuts off, Williams leading. Then obviously whatever milliseconds later, the yellow light comes on, Bowman's looks like he's ahead. But I'm assuming, probably shouldn't do this with them, but so the race director hits a button up there. That's the caution button. I'm assuming when he hits that button, that shuts it's flipping them lights, and that's when their freeze kicks in. And then they showed that picture last night where you can clearly see Byron's ahead, Bowman's, creeping up on him, and you can see the flag stand, and the lights are off. There's no green light. I can't it has a hint of yellow, like yellow's coming on.
So the split second delay.
So that split second delay, I don't know if it's because somebody tweeted me, which I didn't go back and read the rule book last night, but somebody said it's when the yellow lights illuminate, which if that's the case, maybe it should have been Bowman. But I'm pretty sure like when they hit that button and it shuts them green lights off, that's their. We've just froze it, and now that's the picture.
But imagine sitting there for 4 hours watching this race, and I, as a new fan, get zero explanation, and William Byron is declared the winner.
I think that Doug Kobe had the best tweet of the night when he said, imagine going to the Super Bowl and with like 10 seconds in the game, they just smash all the shit and tell you the Giants are the champions. He said that.
Me and him were texting at the end of the race.
That'll never happen.
I know.
But
Real. Good joke, Freddie. Good joke.
I mean, it's like this thing couldn't have been scripted any better, and it wasn't scripted. But you've got all the guys that are in the front of this race contending to win were all featured in this Netflix documentary. It's Denny, it's Ross, it's Joey. Like you literally are like, man, if you're a new fan, this is why you're here. And then it's like, boom, the race is over. 24 is a winner, and it's like, show me video proof, and don't show me a picture on Twitter after the race. Not when I've been sitting here for 4 hours. And that's what happened. So I was disgusted it ended under caution. I was disgusted that you guys couldn't race harder. I mean, like you said, I'm not an average fan sitting at home. I'm sitting there watching it going, this sucks. They're riding around at 50% throttle. Race. This is the Daytona 500, but there's no reason to, because if you don't obey the strategy, then you're not going to be a contender. So, like, I was very frustrated at the end of the race. There's no way I would have. I almost I saw you guys saying, the ARCA race was embarrassing, the truck race is embarrassing. The way that race ended, it was embarrassing.
Well, Bob did answer your question a few minutes ago when a fan asked about how they made that call, and I guess they go off of a timestamp where the light might not have illuminated in that picture. But when they hit the button, they use that timestamp.
Show me the video. Though.
I mean, I agree. I think the broadcast, it made it a little bit more complicated.
Well, you can see the video. Like, if that's the way it grows, you can see it on the video that they showed or somebody showed on Bowman's in car where he's creepy. I mean, he's coming. Like, he's going to – I wish it would have went green because Bowman would have been a sitting duck. I don't know if Bell or us would have wrecked each other to win, but we were going to be pushing the top. It was going to be Bowman, Bell, and then us. And then we were going to be, we were going to have all the momentum and probably been able to pull out and pass Bowman whenever we wanted. So I wish it stayed green. But, like, he had all the momentum. Byron was going to be done. And then, like, you see, Byron's clearly ahead and the green light shuts off. And I'm assuming that's their timestamp.
Bob Pockris should not be the one explaining to us how the winner of the Daytona 500 came to be.
Bob Pockris is my encyclopedia for NASCAR.
He's
if I have a question, I go to Bob.
Maybe Fox should put him in the booth so they can tell us what
You're
happened.
getting a phone call.
Seriously.
You're getting a phone call.
This is like our first show back. Like, can you just wait?
I'm just speaking up from what I saw at home.
And it's
That's all I
not
can
you
do.
get a car. You get a car.
I get it. It makes sense now. He's talking shit because he's got
So,
Chicago
but
and
now-
St. Louis.
He's trying to get suspended.
Oh, yeah. So you gotta go.
NASCAR did tweet out the picture, and then Mike Ford from NASCAR also.
He's saying he wants it on the broadcast. We know they
I
tweeted it
agree.
out. And listen, like, they took their time because we were riding around. I think we made it all the way to, 3 and 4 before I said, like, it's over. Like, they were like, because you could tell, and you can see this, like, you can see this in the Xfinity race versus the Cup race. I think they were trying to beat the leaders to the white flag. I think that they were that wreck starts to happen. They try to flip that switch, trying to beat the leaders, which that was a spin. Like, 3 guys spin to the bottom, track's clear. Like, we can keep digging. They wrecked their asses off of 2 in the Xfinity race, and they ran around the track and came back to the line. Like,
Sheldon lift.
I don't know.
What?
He had no help.
Absolutely not.
I don't know, but he had no help. Also, he lost all of it. Like,
He went from 3 back to
I think
20
I
back.
think he lived
he
it.
probably
Yeah.
did, man.
Wrecking
I
behind
mean,
him.
they were wrecking. I mean, they were. But
There
that's
was a
the
big
thing.
gap.
Like, they were wrecking. Like, the 39
no
spun
doubt.
went back up, pounded the fence. The whole field's coming.
Yeah. Well,
no
that's the thing
yellow.
with ours too. Like the 2 and 1, they went back up the track.
Did they?
So, yeah. So,
I just know, like, I was like, wow, they're. But I mean, the yellow was probably already out. But, like, as soon as they started spinning, I think they were trying to, like, try to get it before they got to the line.
Yeah.
But,
Which, I mean,
yeah,
I
I'm good
would
with that.
too.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just hard because, I mean, I've been watching these races a long time. I mean, you watch Dale Earnhardt win his Daytona 500. Caution is out. They race back to the line. Obviously, things have changed. We don't do that anymore. So, like, as a fan, it sucks to have that race in under caution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like, how do you? I don't know, because it gets tricky, right? Like, put back in like what was the line on the backstretch?
No.
No. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I know
what
what
I'm
you're
saying
talking
is,
about.
Segment it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's a wreck in that part before that line, okay, you race to that line, or if it's after that and you race back, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Should you have done the green, white, checkered finish?
No.
Yes,
You can't.
Like,
We should have.
We should have. Well, no, we should have just not thrown the yellow because we would have been in really good shape.
Right.
But, yeah, like, I seen people, just keep, why do we have these stupid rules? You know why? Because we would have done that 12 more times if you just kept letting us do it.
Oh, we would have been
like,
we would have been seeing.
like,
we would
you
have been
have
checker
to,
flags
like,
and gods a
once
lot.
you take the white, like, that's it. We can't keep doing it.
Winning a NASCAR Cup Series race is the hardest thing to do in all of professional team sports. Fair?
Fair. I mean, I've never played.
He's not arguing that. He won a couple of them.
I mean, I don't know of anything in team sports that's harder to do.
Don't ask the Giants.
So it's just hard when you're watching it play out and you're like, you're high. Like, TV didn't even really celebrate who won the Daytona 500. Like, it was weird. It was weird.
How'd you like the broadcast, Brett? My phone was going off the entire.
What was it?
Every commercial break. Oh my god.
Every 5 minutes was a commercial break. And it was pissing me off. Every fan that's ever complained on this show about commercials, I'm siding with you today.
Today, this is like,
Holy at the commercial. Jeez. It was Commercial Fest 2024, and then there was some racing in between. It was insane. I was texting Clint. I was wearing Clint out.
You just said there wasn't any racing,
You couldn't watch it for the commercials.
so you hate the racing and you hate the commercials.
I was wearing Clint out.
He
Damn.
He texted me every one of the when I got on the plane last night. He's like, "Holy commercials!" I said, "They might as well show commercials. We're out there 20%
I
throttle
know.
riding around.
Why not,
Why
man? Take a rest, Brett. Jeez, calm down.
Oh man,
well, I know the Jersey Mill Media social account tweeted out their weekly fan vote for best paint scheme from each race. And for Daytona, it looks like the number 1, number 6, 23, 24, and 45 were the favorites this week. So
23 is really the favorite. They just put it in numerical order.
right, whatever you say, Freddie.
Right.
Sure.
Y'all do have some fly paint schemes. I give you
Yeah.
that.
Good job.
Fly.
You know what I think it is?
Fly.
It's the black wheels. We're the only team that runs black wheels.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
notice it too. Like, it really brings it together.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like,
That car, I like that car last night. That was a good one.
That was a good car.
Is it at night? It was a little bit tricky, but it was good.
Speaking of paint schemes, I think you guys might have a pretty cool announcement.
Yeah, I heard. I hear this week we're bringing back the old money line teal, Bub. And listen. You talk about a good looking car. This one stands out, and Bubba will give me crap all the time about not spotting the right car, but
Still not gonna spot the right one.
But it's hard to get it wrong this week with the moneyline teal car. I think we got a picture of it somewhere, maybe that's going up here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to having the moneyline folks back at the track. You know, I know you probably appreciate these moneyline cars.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all teal.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, easy.
I don't know.
I haven't seen it either.
It's
What time's the race Sunday? Do we know?
nobody knows.
3 o'clock probably.
Damn,
That looks sick.
that thing looks
Just
badass.
clean.
That's another fly one, Brett.
That is fly.
Freddie, you better not miss this
Money
one on
teal,
track.
guys.
You know what kids would say? That's nice drip or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice.
What?
What?
Seriously? guys?
Money teal is back. All money teal. No other.
While these idiots are talking and making no nonsense at all, go ahead and download the Moneyline app today and start making better decisions with money, which I think everybody at this table, especially Bubba, probably needs to do.
For sure. It's a one-stop shop for all things money.
I hear they're giving away some cold hard cash too, right? Just head to their social media account.
I'm gonna get on here right now.
Be sure to download the Moneyline app today or visit moneyline.com. You can get more information, get a maximum refund, protected from penalties and interest, and file in minutes, which sounds like the perfect deal.
Follow. Send me my money.
All right. I want to know something, Bubba.
Oh.
How did you
Oh, boy.
get hooked up with Freddie? Like, did you pick Freddie, or
bad
did
luck.
you get given Freddie? Like, how did y'all get
I
together?
got given Freddie.
He did get given Freddie.
From old Herm. Old Mike Herm.
Oh, her.
So Herm got you hooked up with Freddie.
Yeah. So I knew Herm ever since I started racing. His sister, Elisa, was married to Chris Rogers. That's who got me started. And so when we went K&N racing, 2010, that was with Rev, and they were like, I think Herm was going to do it.
Herm was he ended up doing Ty Dillon.
He did Ty Dillon at an ARCA race somewhere.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't even there. So it was like, we got Freddie. And so I was like, okay. And if we didn't win our first race, we wouldn't be together.
Made it happen. The funniest thing that happened that weekend, and I'll never forget this, was I didn't know who Bubba was, and I knew it was Rev Racing. I knew it was African American driver, yada yada yada. So I go to the hotel, and this guy comes walking up to me. He's like, "You Freddie Kraft?" I said, "Yeah." White as can be. I mean, the hillbilliest son of a I've ever met in my life. And he's like, "You Freddie Kraft?" I said, "Yeah. How you doing?" He's like, "You remember me?" I said, "No." "You don't remember me?" I said, "Nah." He said, "That's because we ain't never met. How you doing? I'm Darrell Wallace Sr." And I was like, "F off. You are not Darrell Wallace Sr." So then I call Herm, and I'm like, "Hey, what the?" He's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you." I was like, "Yeah, just met him." He's like, "I forgot Bubba's dad's white." I was like, "Yeah, yep, just met him. I just found that out." That could have been some information I just got. I said, but that's because we ain't never met. How you doing? I'm like, "F off. You are not Bubba's dad." I was wrong. That's Bubba's dad.
Well, 14 years later, still my dad.
Yep. Same guy.
And Freddie's still with you.
Here we all are.
14 years later, Freddie's still here.
My most vivid memory of that was
Just
my man
screaming.
holy
I think we talked about it. Me and Brett
did.
did anyway.
just screaming, clear. I'm just driving Greenville, all places like full throttle, and you cannot do that there.
No.
I was like, holy calm down. And we ended up winning.
I go there thinking like, oh, we qualify. I don't know who this kid is. 16 years old. Now next thing I know, we're taking a lead with 10 to go. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah. That was a good day.
that was a fun day. That's the picture I
track,
tweeted
too.
Yeah, yeah.
last night.
Yep.
As Greenville first
How
day.
many times have you almost fired him?
Oh.
Not you, Bubba. How many times have you almost fired Freddie?
Yeah. No, I
Oh, well, when he was screaming, probably once.
That's just that first day.
yeah. Other than that, we've been pretty good. I mean, I'll text him when I think he f***ed up, or he'll text me when I f***ed up. So we have that relationship to where it ain't no hard feelings, like whatever. I know some of these spotters get butt hurt quick when you yell at them. So
what I told somebody, I mean, Garrett Smithley is the guy that came to mind, and this is why I was giving you about Brad saying stuff on television is like, no matter what, I wrecked the hell out of Bubba at, I think it was Vegas in a Xfinity car. Just we were 3 wide. I didn't see a spin. We slid, piled into it.
Cody wears.
And Yoakum was like trying to, because I was late. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I was not. We were bottom of 3, racing our ass off, and the guy spun, I don't know, 20 car lengths ahead of us, and I was late. And by the time Bubba saw it, he like tried to jerk to the left. We spun and hit him pretty hard. And they were like, oh, spotter was long, and Bubba's like, nah, it is what it is, but like never at any point would ever throw me under the bus. And then like I got that with Smithley at Kansas a couple years ago. He's like, Freddie's usually pretty good. I don't know what Freddie did wrong. I'm like, listen, mother. Like, if you want to call me out and call me and tell me about it. And
he's over it for sure.
I'm just saying, I quit that day. Like, I quit that after I was with Brett. I quit that afternoon. I'm like, I can't spot for you anymore because that trust factor is out the window. I said, you don't throw me under the bus. Like, if you want to talk about it, me and you, that's fine. Get on TV and talk about me. That's over. And I've never had. I said I use Bubba as an example. I'm like, you think me and Bubba have never had an issue like on the racetrack? Like I've screwed up or he screwed up. Like neither one of us is ever gonna go like, that's stupid son. Like, what the hell is he doing today?
Yeah.
And that's just,
we'll do it on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the podcast is for.
We'll just every time next time to make a mistake, you're calling it.
You just need to add a
we need
segment
one idiot times 2 segment.
What did Freddie do this time? That should be the new call in. All right, let's head into spot on, spot off. First topic, and don't come at me with this. This is just an opinion from somebody else. Kyle Busch will retire without winning the Harley J. Earl Trophy. He's had 19 attempts so far. Bubba, spot on, spot off.
Well, how many years do we think he has left? Do anybody know his contract right now?
No,
I would say he's in a 3-year deal, second of a 3-year deal.
Well,
just
RCR
guessing.
Man now, he probably knows.
Guessing. No, I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah. Who's spots for him?
Derek Nealon.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who arguably is one of the best.
Yeah, I like.
I mean,
yeah.
his cars find their way to the front.
Yeah.
Obviously, won 2 or 3 races this weekend.
Man, it's interesting, right? Like you look at, I'll be quick with this, but you look at Byron. Somebody tweeted it: DNF, winner.
Yep.
Kyle's been finishing these races and can't do it. We've been finishing and can't get it done. So it's like, is it like a chosen one type deal? So I am gonna say spot on.
Spot on that he
You
retired.
agree?
It's getting harder to win these things.
It is.
And it's not.
And it's not a talent thing, but it's just the cards are not. You didn't get the right deck of cards.
Yeah.
there.
Well, it's not. Used to be a good plate racer. The teams would build. You could build a car for them guys that they could almost do whatever they wanted in. Like, and these guys, all the plate races before this package, the good guys would always, and they still do, but like they could control the race. Like you gave Dale Jr. a really great car. We got out front. It was hard to pass him. Like you
Clear
couldn't
by
get
10,
around.
buddy. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, so it was easy. But they could manipulate things. We could manipulate things with a really good car, and now you can't do that. Now it's this guy. I mean, you could have got behind anybody, the 38 car, and shoved him out front. Caution comes out on the last lap. He wins the race.
Yep.
I think it's spot on. Just the numbers aren't in his favor. I mean, you're like you said. How long has he got left? You're thinking. I mean, what's he? 5 more? Like it's less than 10. So
And it's
now,
not his
if he
strong
didn't win, it's not. But he has been better with this package for whatever reason. He was in position. I felt like we were going to have the momentum down the backstretch last year until the Pastrana got wrecked behind us and the wreck moved forward 4 rows. I thought we were going to be pushing him to the lead at least, and then I don't know what was going to happen after that. But so he was in position. Then he was, that the restart deal. I think they screwed that up last year. They should have just locked out the front row but so for whatever reason, the last couple of years, I think he's been better or just in better position. But still, like the numbers are not in your favor. Like if you got 5 left and you haven't won in the first 19. It's all. I mean, it's at least 50% luck.
He's definitely more competitive in this package for sure. I think he was in really good shape last year. I just think he made his move too early at the end.
I mean, and I remember him being one of the guys like we joked around about earlier with Brad. Like there was a lot of years where you didn't want Kyle pushing. Kyle, like some of the packages, some of the little more unstable packages, like Kyle. There's a lot of times where people turned off the nose of the 18. So it's.
I will say Kyle and I we work really well together.
Oh yeah,
pushing or being pushed. Like I look forward to running with the 8 on speedway races.
I used to look at this race as a game of skill. And I say that as from the driver perspective, from the guys building the cars. I mean, you went down there and you knew Dale Jarrett was going to be fast. You knew Dale Earnhardt was going to be fast. And now I watch B.J. McLeod drive damn near to the lead in the duel because y'all are riding around at half throttle. And the way the wrecks play out at the end, it is more of a game of chance.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate because I appreciated the spotters and the drivers and the mechanics and the crew chiefs and the aero wind tunnel time, that game of skill that it took to be good at it. I remember you'd save your tires if you were Clint Boyer for a little while. You also raced in the heat of the day. You know, you finished the race at 4 o'clock. Yeah. Now they always bleed over into the night. And when that track's cooler, y'all are wide open, balls to the wall. Like, I feel like it's just a game of chance at this point, and that hurts a guy like
what
Cowboys.
they had back then, though? They had horsepower.
They had horsepower.
Also, though, those speedway cars back then were like there was a lot of hours. Now they roll out a backup car, put a new nose. We put a new nose on the car. Ran the same car. Like back then, there were hundreds of hours by many people in one car.
I remember we would go test, and I know that's a strange word around here, but we would go to a 3-day test and do single car runs the entire 3 days. And Todd Parrott would tell Elliott Sadler, when you go down the backstretch, you lift. Because I don't want them to know what we're coming back with. I don't want them to know what they've got to run to beat us.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's probably you probably saw that at.
I did that in qualifying on Wednesday.
Did you?
Probably qualified 28.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Throttle a little bit.
Yeah, I texted him. I'm sitting in the oyster pub watching qualifying, and I'm like, 28. I texted him. I said, I wasn't planning on working this hard tomorrow. But.
I mean, we used to sit in them qualifying lines for 45 minutes on the Daytona at a time.
Yeah.
How many are in line? 18. You're not going to make it before lunch. It's like 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So spot on, spot off, bro.
I'm spot on. I don't, man, it's time's running out.
I actually think it's easier for him now than what it was.
It's just the game of chance. It's the numbers.
I
not
know.
in his
It
favor.
is. It is. It's.
I thought last night he had a shot before certain incidences, but
I mean, Derek Cope, Trevor Bain, like there's a run of guys that you're like, man, they were pretty lucky. Now it's like everybody's lucky.
Yeah.
I hate to discount it, but
moving on, William Byron deserves more respect after his Daytona 500 win. And he had 6 wins last year, so that says something.
I mean,
I think he already has.
yeah, I don't know why. I don't know anybody that disrespects William. I mean, and even on the plate races, I know like you read off like he's got a bunch of DNFs and then won, but he won the July race right 1 year there. So I mean,
last year.
It's just, I mean, like I said, it's just kind of whoever falls into place at the end of that last pit stop. We were literally right around there all night long for whatever 400 and was it Eric Jones said 480 miles, and then the last 20 miles of the race are all that matters. And it's just who cycles to what part of the pack on the last green flag pit stop.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, I'm not discrediting anything they did because he made moves at the end that I thought that were good, but. It was, that was that was
real funny, Freddie.
Well, that wasn't him.
That wasn't help.
That wasn't him.
Yeah.
But
it wasn't Willie.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have respect for William Byron. I can't imagine.
He's got the respect already. Yeah. So I think he's there.
I think it's cool that he came from online racing. You know,
It's different.
I mean, most of you
There's
guys.
a good and bad side of that.
What did you start racing? 8, 9? How old are you?
9.
9. I mean, that's almost old nowadays, man. Like these kids are starting at 5 years old, but I think it's just a cool story, and he's good dude. And I definitely don't think he's underrated. I think he's those of us that understand racing have a lot of respect for William Byron.
For sure.
Bubba, why is there a good and the bad coming from iRacing?
Because you get some of these kids from iRacing that think they can do the same thing, and that is not the case.
Listen, it happened to me with Kraus when I went to we went down to Smyrna one year, and I'm super late model racing with Herm, and we were just like splitting the week at Smyrna. Like I can make 3 or 4 days, he can make 3 or 4 days. So we were spotting for Majeski, and Kraus was like, he was part of that team kind of, and they're like, hey, Herm's gonna spot for Ty tonight. Can you spot for this other kid? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And like when you say kid to me, I'm thinking he's like 16. I get on the radio and I'm like, you got me, bud? Yep, gotcha. I'm like, yo, what the I said, how old is this kid? And his dad was standing. He's like, oh, he's 11 or 12. I was like, I'm like a nervous wreck because I'm like I don't know what to say to this kid. Like I can't let him hit nothing. He's gonna break in half. Like I was
That's
like,
why we don't let you around the CV Industries.
all them CV industry kids love me. Don't get yourself.
Oh, spot
I
on.
think Derek still drives like that. I might put that 9-year up against Derek at times. Sorry, Derek. I'm just kidding.
Spot on, spot off. The truck race at Daytona was an embarrassment of the series. Brett.
Oh, boy, you ain't gonna like what I gotta say.
You want to spot a truck?
I'm telling you, no, truck. I'm not spotting a truck race.
Usually it's Doug. Now
I give these idiots a hard time all the time. Like, why do y'all spot for these no driving mother?
Brett.
If we raced,
He used to be one of those.
listen. If he didn't drive like a complete idiot all the time,
Just most of them.
if we raced the same way every weekend that we raced this past weekend at Daytona, none of us would have jobs because this show. Like the appreciation for racecraft and taking care of your stuff and saving tires, and it just, man, it was a disaster. So it definitely was embarrassing.
I think that it was awful. That was the sketchiest. We wrecked on lap 5 or 6, but that was the sketchiest start of a race I've ever been a part of. And I think what played a factor into that was guys had to make the race. I think they sent 4 or 5 trucks home. So you had guys up front with really trimmed out trucks from qualifying that probably didn't know what to do with them. And now, they're going this way.
that's right. They're impound, right?
They're impound. So, there's a couple guys I saw that were just they're going in reverse as fast as we're going forward. And you had good guys at the back. Eckes was back there. Ty was back there. We had good trucks trying to move forward. At the same time, they're trying to go backwards. And I think that, it was as sketchy as it gets. And then, we have the big one already. And then, listen, one of the guys, Corey LaJoy, who I love to death, I don't know what the he was doing all night long.
All night.
Like his truck. I mean, listen. I was like, this guy's gonna win the race. Like I saw his truck, how good it was. I'm like, oh, he's gonna kill these
Bird
guys.
without feathers again.
He was he would drive to the lead, then pulled in the middle and watch the whole top line go by him. Then he'd pull he was driving the top line. Somebody move up, he'd move up with him. The whole middle line go by him. I'm like, what's he? Then he the end of the race.
Way too far.
The end of the race, he pushes Rajah out 15 car
Way
lengths.
too far out.
The whole field drives by him. So then luckily they get a green white checker before they're still second and third, so they line up on the top lane, and they're like, that worked so fucking good the last time. Let's do it again. Let's try to get back out there.
It's bad. It's bad when me and the wife were sitting on the couch in the bus watching, and the first restart, she was like, "What's he doing?" It's Amanda.
If she knows.
She said before I left the house this morning, she was like, "Don't say anything bad about me." I'm like, now this brings it back. So it ties all into the story. So Amanda's like, "What is he doing?" And then the second restart, I was like, all right, well, they won't do that again. She's like, what a idiot. Same person who just asked, what's a tri-oval?
Damn.
Literally just found out what a tri-oval
She's gonna
was.
kick your ass for that one.
I'm like, what?
Like you could, you know how it is on the roof. Like I had to do the ARCA race. Of course, I haven't done an ARCA race in 15 years. It feels like, and the one I got to do is at midnight. But so now the truck race is running, so we're all up there at the end, and half of the field is gone, so it's just half the spotters are up there, and you could just hear us they're getting out there. We're like, we're just looking at where's he going? Why is he doing it again? And here comes the whole field trucking on by. I'm like, oh my god, not again.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I'll let Bubba talk about his boy Rajah. But I mean, it was just over aggression from the get go. Like literally lap.
Oh, it's terrible.
It was just right out the gate, and it was just guys. It's really good. I mean, they're not bad drivers, but they're in really fast. Some guys are less experienced in really, really fast trucks.
It legit looked like a C-Fix race on iRacing. I mean, legit.
It's just
Random race. Let's go.
But so obviously, in my opinion, so I watched, and I watching it live, the end of the race, I thought Corey pushed Rajah into the 91. Then I've seen the replay, and I'm like, nope, that didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So then people start texting me, and they're like, I thought Bubba and Rajah get along. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I just ignore it. Seen the video. I in my opinion, you've been a mentor to Rajah. Rajah, listen, we're going to bust his balls here in a second, but he's a kid that every race that he's not in, he's on the roof watching. He's asking me questions, Lambert questions, Brett when he was up there, TJ. He's asking questions about moves we're making, why we're making them. Like, he wants to learn. I'm sure he's leaned on you many times for advice on certain racetracks. But what was that interaction like?
Not good. Speaking of Rajah, he actually just texted me. When can we talk about Atlanta? So to your point, He wants to learn grow his notebook and learn as much as he can. But, I was sitting in the bus watching it, seeing it live, and I was like, what the hell was that move? And so I put my shoes on and march out there to, if your kid came up to me and was like, hey, help me out. Okay, strap in, because I'm going to praise you. I told Rajah this after the fact. I said, when you win your first race, I'll be the first one to victory lane. When you up, I'm going to be the first one to go to your ass. And if you don't like it, cry about it. I don't care, because that's what you get. So I went up to him, and I'm like, what the hell was that? And he said, I got pushed into that. And like I said, I seen it live and marched out of the bus. So I was like, are you sure? He was like, bro, I promise you, I got pushed into that. And I'm like, okay. So that's when the camera cuts away. But then somebody else had a phone camera. I was like, okay, good job, proud of you. Tone it down a little bit. Remember, but I told him before the race, I said, hey man, there's gonna be a lot of wrecks. Be patient. Don't go up there and do anything stupid early, because you got to learn. I said, you go through all this data, all this stuff that we talked about in our meeting. It doesn't make a damn if you don't finish a whole race, because you have nothing to talk about. You have nothing to learn from. So I thought he did an excellent job. I was kind of judging him because he was riding around 15th, 20th, wherever he was, and not really in the picture. But, hey, he was doing what, I don't know if it was what I said, but he was just logging laps, learning, biding his time, missing the wrecks, whatever. Great job. So then when he gets into that deal, it's like, okay, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes. Oh, the top line's moving around me. Top line's moving around me. There's half a hole. Bam, done. What the f***? You got a mile and a half. I don't even know what the actual distance is from exit turn 2 to start finish line. Mile and a half?
Mile and a half. Yeah.
Sure.
About 3 runs still.
Yeah. It's like, bro. So he's like, I got pushed into that. So I'm like, all right, good job. So I go back to the bus. I studied film like it was my own race. I'm like, pausing the TV, pulling up my phone. And I'm like, bro, you didn't get pushed. What are you talking about? He was like, no, I got hooked by Corey. I'm like, Corey's not touching you. He was like, no, the 11, not the 7. And I'm like, oh, different Corey. All right, okay. What are you talking about? No one touched you. And I'm like, bro, he finally came around and said, I messed up. And I said, thank you. Now pick up the phone and tell everybody else that. Yeah. Because that's what he's got to do. Yeah. And so many people got somebody that had the best tweet after that whole interaction. Bubba Wallace could get on Twitter and say Bubba Wallace, and people be mad at him.
That's the truth.
Holy shit. I'm helping this kid out, and I'm going to praise him when he does good, and I'm going to go to him when he does bad. Oh. And so I'm doing what I thought was right. I don't give a shit what people say. But it's just so funny to see all that. And then it's like,
that's funny.
Oh, yeah, I did make a mistake. And I'm an asshole.
And, what I told him last year was, I said, listen, in my opinion, his rookie year looked like a mirror to yours. Yep. Like really, really fast, a lot of speed, constant mistakes. Yep. And I'm like, man, if you could just put a race together, I said, all you got to do is finish in the top 5. Yep. And then, once you start finishing the top 5, you're going to find a win. They just find you. It doesn't, you don't have to be the best truck all the time. You can find a good pit stop, whatever it is. But if you, just keep putting yourself up there. But, it was just mistake after mistake last year. And hopefully this year, he's in obviously really good equipment. I think he'll win races. And I think, we'll all be really happy for him when he does. But he's just got to figure out how to get there. Just got to figure out how to get there. Yeah.
Finish.
Matt Crafton won a championship by just finishing.
Yeah. That's it.
Without even winning.
Well, he won a championship because we blew motor at Texas. So.
Still won it by finishing, though.
Well.
All right. Well,
I did tell Brad you pushed us into that wreck that one time too. I was like, all right, I think Bubba hit you.
That's all right. That's okay.
Let's hear some fans' reactions with Reaction Theater.
What's up, boys? It's Ty from Midwest, North Carolina. Pretty damn good race, even though we had to watch a computer nerd win it. But Bubba almost came through, got him a strong finish. Can we just get a sponsor for Brett? So you can just go Facebook Live so you can watch these dumbass commercials the whole race. Go, Bubba.
I think my man went through a whole bottle of tequila.
I think that was Elmer T.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's a good one.
Well. Congratulations to William Byron for winning the Daytona 499. Jesus Christ. Was Brad Keselowski or William Byron driving that 44 car in the ARCA race? That was ridiculous. Trucks is a laughing stock. ARCA is a laughing stock. And now the Cup Series might as well be allowed to stop. This.
Damn.
Damn.
Who's the 44 in the ARCA race?
I think the 44 shoved a guy in 3 and 4 one time. He's like, remember when there was a car spinning out on the apron by himself? The 44 is the one I think did it. Middle of the corner.
Yeah, the race by then.
Maybe. It was near the end.
Who was spotting for old Big Willie?
One of his guys wasn't a Cup guy. I don't know what that was. A weird looking deal. Like he hit him and never ever slowed down. Like I was like,
oh, you seen it coming from a mile away?
Yeah,
I said, babe, watch the white car, white car, white car. Boom.
Yeah.
I don't think that's not a spotter error. Those windshields are see through.
And he chased him. Like,
I mean,
it was weird.
yeah.
Weird. Anyways, next one.
Hendrick Motorsports, baby! Woo-hoo! Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
Shut the
Congrats to William Byron and the boys at Hendrick. 40 years. Oh, my God. I am jumping for joy. Man, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to go grab me a damn bear. Because let me tell you, that was one of the best Daytona 500s I've watched in years. It literally puts ARCA and Truck Series competition to shame because those two series, ARCA and Trucks, are a joke. NASCAR Cup Series, the damn best. Daytona 500 is the best.
He's drinking the beer at that moment.
Holy cow, he went through different accents, different octaves.
He builds Legos.
He's getting coloring books for Christmas.
Well, I'm glad I didn't call in sick to work because all it was follow the leader bullshit for, the first 180 laps or so. What a damn joke. Did they change the rules to where it's the last person to cross the finish line to win the race? Because when they showed the replay on TV, it looks like Bowman is clearly ahead of Byron when the yellow flag comes out.
He
did they
wasn't.
change their scoring or what? I don't know. I feel like they need an explanation on that because the replay they show on TV shows Bowman ahead when the yellow light comes on.
Brad, you call in?
Oh, you can tell when Brett.
It just validates what I'm telling y'all we had for a viewer.
Yeah, for the viewer. And listen, if the rule says when the lights illuminate, then the 48 won the race.
Yeah.
Like, because the light wasn't on. Like, I know what's happening here, but you need to. There can't be a delay if you want the rule to read that way.
Remember in Atlanta last year that remember that picture where it was us and Bella across the line and the one picture it looked like then you go to the other angle and then we're in front of him. Like it's weird how stuff can be deceiving though.
I mean, it just shows that 80-20 where some people loved it, some people just couldn't stand the race. I don't know. I know the truck race was a struggle, but I still watch that series every week. I think it's so exciting to
Oh, it's exciting.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Taylor Gray, was he the one flying through the air? I'm sure he thought it was super exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. He landed on.
You were on Spaces when I was asking Todd about how many trucks. Did you hear about that? Did you hear about that?
How many trucks? Brad, he's talking.
He
can't hear.
Elmer Lee. T. Lee.
Elmer Fudd got Brad.
We get invited to do like during Sunday to promote the race. Obviously, we get on Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
And me and Mom are on there, and then Todd Gilliland, Rajah gets on there. Who else is on there?
I don't remember. Garrett Smithley.
A bunch of us are on there.
Yeah.
And so Harrison was on there. And so I asked Todd, I was like, hey, is your dad got any truck races open? I'll go run it. He was like, man, I don't know. He's been so busy. I didn't even ask him. He had 5 trucks in this race for the truck race. And I was like, yeah, Rajah probably wrecked all 5 of them.
Taylor sent out a good video. I forget what movie it's from when it was like the guy's like the thing freezes and it's like, I bet you're wondering how we got in this position. And it was his car. It was like literally flying upside down the back straightaway.
Yeah.
You know what sucks is the guy that gets flipped is usually just an innocent bystander.
And he was
100%.
Yep. And he's the guy that's up in front and gets clipped in the quarter.
The guy I thought was coming out of there was going to win. I thought was Jack Wood. I thought Jack Wood had he was in a good spot, and he had nothing to do. Daytona's the only place where wrecks happen forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They move forward. You could be 3 rows ahead of the wreck and be in it. You know what I mean? So this guy clips this guy, he goes down.
That's how many Rajah got.
Year. Yeah, all the way to the lead.
Yeah.
All right, we have one more.
I can't believe we waited, 48 hours for that wet part of the finish from the biggest wet part of the winter. Has to wear a big hat to look like he has a personality. It is what it is. I don't know what I expect at the end of these things. But I don't want to hear y'all complain about that package anymore. Clearly they know how to put on a show when they want to race, but I don't want to hear the whole episode about the Super Speedway package sucks, because when they want to race, they want to race. We saw it in the duels, and we saw it right before the big one, and everybody decided to wad it up. Coincidentally, the winner caused the big wreck that took out most everybody, and then he sort of kind of caused the wreck that won him the race. So, great.
The reason why the package sucks is because we always want to race and we can't. It's not because we're just wanting to sit back and not ride. It's we want to race.
He says the guy said, "You've seen it in the duels; they can do it." We were doing the same duels as we were in the race.
Yeah,
saving fuel,
saving fuel for the last 20 laps.
Yeah, that was the first test session for it.
We run 5 duels at the Daytona now.
The package is great for the last 20 laps.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
Is Austin Hill that good, or is that car that fast?
Both, but he just makes all the right moves and.
But not only that, nobody blocks him. Just let this son of a keep having a lead. You know what? This guy's the best. Go ahead and lead, Austin. We'll try to get around you.
Yeah.
Has he seen the checkered flag in a green condition yet, though? I mean, he's been running the Xfinity.
Don't matter.
I'm just saying.
He got a green the other night.
He has outsmarted everybody in that Xfinity field. He knows if he's leading at the
100%.
right. I mean, he's been running the Xfinity series since Fireball Roberts.
And by the way, his car is a missile.
It is
So
a
you
missile,
know.
and he knows that dude, when you got Sage Karam and the other group behind you racing, you know they're going to wreck each other trying to get to you.
I think that I was watching. I got home to my house with probably like 12 to go, and I watched them last couple restarts. And like when they get that run into one, and Creed lines up behind Austin, Petrie is 100% on board with Creed's gonna wreck. Because the first thing he goes, Sheldon Creed's really hungry for a win. Like he knows, like he's like he knows it's coming, and if they all wreck and he loses, whatever. But I was like I seen a lot of people tweeting, and I think you might have said something about bias in the booth. Like people were talking about like just pretty outright like cheering for one team or being hard on certain drivers that maybe made moves that weren't that bad but got picked on for being like I seen Mikey said one time he's like I forget, I think it was AJ just drove Sage Karam straight through Custer at the end, and Mikey's like, that's a terrible push by Sage Karam. I mean he's getting pushed from behind, but that's a terrible push. I'm like, well, it can't be both. Like if he's getting pushed from behind, it's not him. Like he didn't do anything wrong. So but I didn't see. I always saw the last 12 laps.
Kyle on that duel, I'm telling you. I don't know what he's doing.
What was he thinking?
Yeah.
All right. Well, to leave an audio message whenever you'd like, call our new number 704-802-9572, and we will keep picking the best ones each week. Moving on to hashtag AskDBC. Don't forget to use that hashtag whenever you'd like to ask us a question, and we'll keep putting them on the show sheet so these guys can answer them. This first question is from James, and I'm assuming, Bubba, this is more for you. Has MJ's involvement with 2311 changed since his sale of the Hornets?
Yes, and it's growing rapidly. Because of the sale, he has more time. He wants to be at more races. You often asked him before, like, hey, you coming to any races? He's like, I'll see with the basketball schedule. Well, that's not the case anymore. So I'm not sure what his next one is. I don't know if he's coming to Atlanta. He may.
Was he there yesterday?
No, he had to go back home. But he came in Thursday for the duels. So yeah, he's definitely involved. He's been on a couple of our team meetings, but Curtis, his right-hand man, who basically runs our ship over there, he's involved each and every phone call.
New shop. Tell me about that new shop, man.
We don't have a shop.
Oh, he's right. It's not.
What is it?
It's not the S word. It's called Airspeed.
Oh.
Yeah, Airspeed.
Airspeed.
Yeah.
Airspeed is the name of the building.
The building. No S words.
No
there.
S
It's
word.
a fine if you
It's a
say the S
fine.
word.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you hear me when Jay, listen up closely. If you hear me say the 2311 shop, we're cutting it out of the show. It has to be cut out.
Airspeed.
Airspeed.
Okay.
And it is.
Hashtag.
It is.
Hashtag.
It is nice.
It's nice money.
Well, the cool thing is, it's close to Charlotte. It's right there on the interstate. So fans, when they come to Charlotte, like they're going to be able to check it out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody has talked about it. You see it right there from 77. So did a great job with it. They're still putting last-minute tweaks on things. So a couple more, I'd say a couple months, it'll be fully done. So I don't know when they're going to open in public, though. It might be a while for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Next question is from Matt. How do you feel about the next-gen style drafting, and which package or car do you prefer pack racing in?
I don't mind the next gen style drafting. I feel more confident with this car and pushing and stuff. Pushing was never a big suit of mine. Like I mentioned earlier, like I still try to be methodical throughout the race of just pushing on the straightaways and when the timing's right. As to where I was still trying to figure out which way was up, down, left, and right in the previous car. So I'm good with the next gen style.
I preferred the other one, but I wasn't sitting in the seat. I feel like this car, the last car rewarded aggression. Like if you were aggressive, you could make happen and get to the front. This car almost rewards patience. Like, in years past, we would jump up in front of every lane and try to get pushed to the front or like make certain moves at the top and try to get a third lane going.
Didn't stop Ross.
Yesterday, like we gained all our spots by just not moving. Like guys kept moving. Like in the last 2 laps, whatever it was, a couple guys got out of our way, and we just filled the hole in the middle and probably gained 7 or 8 spots at the end of the race.
You have no idea how hard that was.
Oh, I know.
Because you were like, top line's coming, and you're like, I'm like, no, and then 3 cars pass you, and you're like, God, you're like, yeah.
Well, there was 2 things that came to my mind. There was, for one, there was guys up there already, so we were going to be the 4th or 5th car in the top line, and we're not winning the race from there. No. That's not happening. No. I look, the middle's open. The 20 is the only one in the middle. So now you're the second car in the middle, and who knows, if we can get to him and we get a little bit of help. Yeah. But the thing that played in my mind the biggest was Talladega last year. We were trying, we needed points. So we were trying to make shit happen, and every time we went, Denny was behind us. Denny was like last, and he was behind us, and we were trying, every time a lane would come, we'd get to the top, whoop, we'd lose 4 or 5 spots. Whoop, go back, and we ended up at the back, and then Denny finished 3rd or 4th, and I'm like, fuck that top line, unless it's clear as day going somewhere with everybody up there. And even then, everybody was up there, we still made the middle work better than them. So when everybody's all out, the third line just can't maintain. It's not possible.
I honestly feel like if you got to be careful what you wish for here, because if we don't, the fuel thing puts strategy into it, and it actually gives you comers and goers because you can knife your way to the front a little bit. If everybody goes 100%, we're going to have a wreck early. There's going to be mistakes, and there's going to be 15 cars or less running at the end of that thing. And then people are going to complain, well, this wasn't even a good race. There was only 10 cars running at the end of the race.
Yeah, I mean, and then listen, at no time have we ever run 100% the entire Daytona 500. We would sometimes we would get single file against the wall and ride for a whole stage or something. Yep. But at least it was in everybody's hands at that point. This is you have to save fuel. You have to do it. And I don't know why it wasn't that case before, unless we just weren't smart enough to figure it out then. But it just it's because in tires, a box now.
First of all, we're not changing tires really ever. I mean, there's no tire wear. I
don't know how we didn't get a flat at the end of the first stage when you come smoking down pit road.
Oh, I saw him. You had them lit up. Both.
I was like,
the first one.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I mean, there was a long ways, and I was like, we locked them up, Booty. I don't know if it was on 1 or 2, but I was like, locked up bad. And Booty's like, fuel only. I'm like, okay, I guess we just.
I felt a slight vibration.
Oh, because it wasn't that many laps. It was only 5 laps. Yeah.
But Joel, in the big wreck though, that's so weird that you say that, because when I told you to hit it in practice, it's an absolute max. I hit the brakes and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, we're slowing down. We're going to make this. And I think I locked up right there at the end just to make sure.
I thought you were speeding.
In practice?
No.
In the race.
Yeah.
Well, so what I'm getting at is, so when we called it in the race, I knew to back it up a little bit. I hit the brakes, and I'm like, am I slowing down? Oh, shit. There comes the line. Okay, sure. Well, then in the big wreck, like I said, I try to praise, I'm aware and everything. We were 10 car lengths back, 5 car lengths back.
I was motherfucking you so bad on this deal.
5 car lengths back, seen the wreck happen, hit the brakes, and I'm like, oh, I got it missed. Boom! Never knew I was locked up until I hit AJ.
Oh, so you didn't even know. You're just
had no idea because you couldn't feel it. So that's something to talk about with if it's set up or something we can do with the brakes. But hit the brakes, and I'm like, I'm missing this for sure. Picked up speed.
Yeah, you had them. They were lit up. I was gonna say, as Joel would say, they were smoking like a busted chainsaw.
How often do you listen to DVC and Actions Detrimental?
Never. I don't listen to podcasts at all. So
she does.
No podcast.
Amanda's a fan.
No podcast at all.
No, I wonder you didn't know you weren't on it.
And weird.
Oh, easy.
Just people talking to you. Just talking to you. I want people screaming at me.
A little helpful promotion here. Don't.
Y'all do a great job. I'm sure.
Don't tell people not to listen to podcasts.
No. Listen,
Personal preference.
I'll probably. Well, I don't need to go back and listen. I've heard everything we said today. But like, if there's clips of where I'm like, "What an idiot award," I'll go back and find my clip. That's the only time I listen.
That's a perfect segue. What an idiot.
There you go.
And listen, Amanda listens all the time.
Oh my God, I
Because
get on the car
every
every
once in a
time.
while she'll be
I knew that was the reason I liked her.
Yeah.
she'll be yelling at me about something I said on here or something. Probably.
Who's your one idiot? Bubba, do you have
Oh,
one?
I got a list.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah, I got
laundry
one.
list here.
Rajah Caruth.
He called him out.
Guy.
Oh,
Straight to it.
He's probably told him 3 or 4 times since then. He should have heard him in that Twitter space. It was relentless.
No, I was going at it. Going at it. That's
Who
mine.
else?
Rajah's gonna have to rebrand after this week.
I'll tell you who one of my favorite ones of the week. I don't know if it's going to be my official one idiot, but one of my favorite ones was Austin Hill in the Xfinity race. Did you see him come down pit road in third gear running about 100 mile an hour?
Hey, I can't talk.
I know you can't say shit.
I did that at Martinsville.
At least it wasn't. That was a 35 mile pit
That's
road. This
true.
one was a 60.
Yeah.
Where you're running. I mean,
Yeah.
when he hits that line and just drives away from everybody, I seen a replay. I was laughing.
We
my
did
ass
Dover in second gear when you were Dale Jr. I think that's back when they were running first gear there, and we were.
That's back with Fireball Roberts.
Bubba
Yeah, it
touched on
was.
it. My one idiot was almost Bubba because we were short on fuel, and I'm like, man, just get back here and just ride around the back. Don't get near this wreck. All right, and here we are. Fucking brakes
Sorry,
locked up,
AJ.
sliding in. I'm like, you son of a. As the brakes are locked up, I'm like, if he hits something, I'm gonna kill him.
Oh yeah. Oh, I hit that motherfucker solid.
I
They were
know.
like,
That is the
"Car's
worst.
even better now. You made it better with that hit." Thanks, next.
That's the worst because as a spotter, you're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna be back here a little bit. We know they're getting ready to wreck, so we're gonna miss it." Then you look up there and your guy's just taking this big run in
And
the pack. You're like,
the one thing that's
Yeah.
the thing that screwed me up was I had just John Hunter was like not leaving our bumper, and I'm like,
No, he
I gotta go
wasn't.
tell him. So I
kept
went down. And I
following
went
me.
to Blanche. I'm like, yo, we're short on fuel. We're gonna run a couple more laps. Go around me.
Yeah.
Don't be behind me because I didn't want him behind us if they did wreck. Like
Yeah.
you don't want anybody on your bumper. So of course I'm going down. He's like 3 people down from me. So I go down there and tell him get off my bumper. Like get it. So then he does. Thank God. And as I'm getting back, they're piling. I'm like,
yeah. When they were getting ready to wreck earlier on too, and we're back there. We're just saving fuel, and I told Blanche too. I'm like, look, the dangerous spots are end of the backstretch, off of 4 there when they're coming right at you, and right into 1 there when things kind of get tight sometimes. And I'm like, it's hard when you're riding around the back because you got to watch your car and you got to watch this going on up here. And if you got a guy right on you, you don't want that when you're back there. So you're like, you try to prevent things back there.
Dare I ask, Brett?
Well, I got to listen. I don't usually have but one, but I got to know who was the idiot that tweeted the wrong phone number for the Dale Jr. download call-in. Do we know?
Oh,
Probably Dalton.
seriously? That was not
Was
me.
that you?
No, I promise.
Well, they definitely get an honorable mention.
Oh, Casey was on my list also.
Whoever within the Ford Motor Company camp has decided to not have any branding on the front of the cars. That's stupid. Like you
They don't
can't
have
see.
a blue oval.
No. They don't have, the only thing they have is the dark horse, but it's the same color of the grill, so it's like tone on tone. You can't see it. But my what an idiot is a guy that over the winter, and I love tattoos. I have several. The guy that got the number 7 tattooed on his ass, Freddie Kraft. That's my what an idiot.
What?
I didn't know that.
I got to. It's because I'm going to go spot for Corey next year. I didn't want to tell you.
You didn't know he got a number 7 tattooed on his ass? Listen, it looks like a really small 7 because he's got a big ass, but nonetheless, it is the number 7.
So here's what happened with that deal. So we're in Key West. It's me, Megan, Duggar, and Tara. And Duggar's got this great. He's like, let's all go get tattoos. And I'm like, you've seen. I saw the picture.
That's right.
And I was like, all right, I don't have any tattoos. I'm like, I don't care.
Duggar get one?
So we're all gonna get one, and we were on our way to Freddie drunk at this point, and so we go in there, and I always wanted to get a Billy Joel lyrics. I was like, I'll get that. It can't take too long. And Megan,
Wait, which one were you?
I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints. But
That's not going to take too long.
Isn't Billy Joel the preacher?
No, that's the Billy Baldwin. You idiot.
Which,
That's Joel Osteen. There you go.
So
That's
then,
what he needs a quote from.
which were you gonna get it on a cheek or your?
No, I was
lower-
gonna get it on my back.
Oh, you're gonna get a lower back?
Yeah,
You
like
can't
a
do
tramp
that.
stamp. So we go in there, and the guy's like, I said, how long is that going to take? He's like, probably an hour. I'm like, well, I'm not laying here for an hour. Like, that's not. So then Megan was getting this little hedgehog because our dog loves hedgehog toys or whatever. So she's getting after the dog, and I'm like, I'm not laying here for an hour while this. I was like, put a 7 on my ass, like because it was our 7th anniversary today. So this year, so we're going away this year with Doug. I said I'm going to get another tattoo. I'm just going to cross this. I'm going to make the 7 into an 8, like like just connected somehow.
Yeah.
You should have done like the little Roman numerals and just kept adding numerals.
Should we go back to the one idiot segment? Because
This sounds like a Duggar. That was Duggar's idea, wasn't
So yeah, so then when they said all these, Duggar was going to get the what do you call it, like the buoy, the Key West, the southernmost point thing. He wanted to get that, and they were like, that's going to take a couple hours, and so we were like, you know what, we're out.
Well, that was his plan. You're an idiot. Duggar's going to go to, I want to get that. Oh, but it's going to take long. Go ahead and get yours, Freddie.
Hey, listen, it scares, like it doesn't scare me, but like I'll be walking, like getting a shot, I'm like, what the is on my? Oh, never mind, I got a tattoo back there now.
You have to wear. No, you should be good now. Right?
No, I'm good. No, I was like just the number, just the tattoo being there. I was like, I'm like, whoa, what is this?
Well, that's like I think of my tattoos. I forget that I have tattoos. I think of the one on my shoulder, but then they're like, "Didn't you get a Richard Petty one?" I'm like, "Oh, I did."
Yeah,
not on my ass, below my ass cheek.
Did you have? Who's your one idiot?
I mean, I can't believe we haven't covered it yet.
I know. Like I figured you're gonna get to this. I have that one on my list, but I'm gonna let you go.
We going ARCA racing again?
No, mine was truck racing. We looked at each other and said that guy won an idiot award during when it happened.
I mean, I don't know how I got to give it to the bad teammate.
That's what I was gonna go there. Yeah, I was not gonna call him an idiot. I was gonna call him an asshole. Probably,
well, yeah. There's. I mean. How do you do that? I mean, the reason I'm involved in this is because my guy was starting 4th behind the guy on the outside, and we always assumed that like that guy's ducking down, so we're gonna be up there by ourselves. So you're looking out back for some help, right? I mean, you got to get linked up with someone back there or whatever. And I mean, if I'd have known the 20 was going to be pinned up there, I just would have pushed him.
Yeah. And listen, what we're talking about is Venturini Motorsports, who they've had a history. They've won 6 or 7 ARCA races in a row. I don't think they won last year, but this is how they do it. They have a green white check. Every ARCA race has a green white checker restart, I think, and they have a teammate restart. The two of them get hooked up, and then nobody can touch them. And the last 3 ARCA races I spotted were at Speedways for Billy Venturini. I think 2 of them were Drew Dollar, and I forget who the other one was.
Sorry.
And we were the ones that were allowing the teammate restart, and not like that's 100% decision. Like Billy obviously would like that because that's his team and he wants his team to win no matter what. But it's up to the driver. And my point, like I tweeted that I thought it was a bullshit move, and I still think it's a bullshit move. Not that Gus wanted to race. I know Gus had a lot of things to race for. His grandfather just passed away. He wanted to win the race. If you want to win the race, that's fine. Race. But when they say, "Hey, let us in," and you say yes, that's bullshit. Like if you want to get up there and they ask you and go, "Hey, you want to let the 20 in?" No, I want to race. I'm going to let the 73 push me. Let's go heads up and see who wins.
Yeah.
I'm 1,000% fine with that. We talked about that yesterday. That's what we were going to do. If it wasn't, even I don't like that's how you're supposed to do it. I would never expect Bubba, like if Tyler comes to me and goes, I wouldn't even ask Bubba the question. Like I'd be if Tyler go, "Hey, you want to let us in?" I'd be like, "No. Like we're not doing that. We're going to race." Yeah. But like you can't say, "Yeah, I'm going to let you in," and then on top of that, not on top of not letting him in, you jump the restart. Like Gus fires first. Yeah. Like that's what then like Jake, and it changes your whole mindset if you're Jake, because Jake for one did a phenomenal job. He has come a long way. He's kind of a little bit rambunctious, but he's fast and he's talented. He makes mistakes sometimes, but I thought he did a really good job that night.
He did.
And when you put that guy in that position to where he's expecting you to let him down, he's not expecting to have the best jump. He knows what's getting ready to happen. I just got to get rolling here. This guy's going to drag, let me down, and then we're going to get hooked up and go.
Now you're behind.
And now all of a sudden, like he's sitting there, and all of a sudden he sees the guy next to him fire first, and that's like, oh, in panic mode. Like and then he goes down. They didn't make it a lap before he got wrecked, right? I mean,
no, we didn't make a lap.
I just thought that was,
it's definitely
bull.
All right, let's move on to DBC picks quick.
Who won? We don't have a sheet.
TJ did win
by
pick? 1.
Who'd you pick?
Can't even remember. It was I laid up too.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of.
I laid up.
You
with
picked
Justin
Ryan
Haley.
Priest. I picked.
Hell yeah.
Ryan Priest.
Ryan Priest ain't laying up, is
Yeah,
it?
that's not really laying up.
Who?
Yeah,
Where did he finish? I thought he was a lap down.
23rd.
I guess
we won with 23rd.
Holy shit.
And I was 24th. I don't know.
Where was Stenhouse?
I'm looking.
He got wadded up.
Oh, wait.
You pick first with Stenhouse,
Oh.
then Brett with Haley, then I go, and then TJ. So, Freddie, you go first.
Corey LaJoy.
I'll take Ricky Stenhouse.
Who did you take, Freddie?
Corey.
So.
I will.
I'm not picking.
No, you're not.
Oh,
picking.
yeah.
You pick at the end. Pick who you think's going to win. Can't pick yourself.
I'll take Justin Haley.
I'll take Briscoe.
I'm gonna go since my picks don't matter. I'll go Chase. I'll go the 9 car.
Okay.
And then what can we expect?
Yes.
Ooh, Atlanta's treacherous, man. I'm gonna be interested to see how much it's weathered from the fall to now, because just from year 1 to year 2. Wait, was year 1 the last year?
No,
No, that's right.
That was-
Next
it was
gen
last
was
year.
the same year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is year 3. Like, it changed so much. Like, qualifying, bro. Fingers crossed.
Like sketch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Super sketchy, super rough.
The
like,
race is pretty
you're
sketchy.
hitting bumps and like I would love 20 minutes practice.
Remember when
I think it's going to get to the point where it's going to get so weathered and we're not going to know until that first car goes down the racetrack.
Well, we get a little practice.
Yeah, kind of.
We get pit road practice.
Yeah.
We just have to haul ass for a lap.
Oh yeah.
Which tracks you got circled this year? Those ones you're going to win.
Vegas, Kansas. Basically, Jimmy Johnson's schedule. There's a reason why Jimmy Johnson came over to Toyota and then made his schedule all mile and a halves. Toyotas are ass. So mile and a halves look really forward to. Honestly, we were talking. We made such a big leap last year. The only track that I can say is a weakness right now,
Sonoma.
Chicago, Sonoma. Like, it's still the road courses, but
Can't say anything bad about Chicago on here.
that's true. But man, Richmond was a place where I usually struggled. We went up and led laps, and our finish didn't really show how good we were. Texas, I pulled Booty aside after we made the playoffs. I said, Texas is going to kick our ass. Qualify on pole, lead a bunch of laps, choke on the finish.
That car was good at Texas.
Yeah, stupid good. So I'm looking forward to a lot of the races this year, to be honest with you.
How much are you leaning on Reddick?
Not much. He's little.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Reddick's fast everywhere, and so you try to just have that mentality of just basically it and send it, right? But I think you have to be methodical with that. And I think I've been really saying a lot about 2014 Bubba. Like, I'm trying to bring that back because that was all confidence there, running with the best of the best, beating the best of the best. And I feel like Reddick has that. And it's like, all right, well, let's see. Let's bring that confidence back, because at the end of the year, we were running right there with him, So I knew. Amanda asked me, how's Reddick going to be when he came over? And I was like, kid's going to kick my ass. He's fast. So it made me step up and deliver more. But now I feel like, I'm kind of, we're both helping each other climb the ladder, if you will. So it should be a good year for both of us. I'm excited.
So this is year 15 for us, starting year 15.
Yep.
This, in my opinion, maybe since I don't remember this in 2014, this is the best mindset I've seen you come into a season with. Do you agree with that?
100%.
I mean, and what is that? Just confidence coming off of last year, you think?
Yeah. Confidence coming off last year. And, for the last 3 years, I've been racing to prove you wrong, prove you wrong, prove you wrong, prove people over here wrong. What the does that matter? Go out and race because you know how to race and win races, and go have fun with it, right? I got caught up in all the BS that came my way and, whatever. But it's like, let's get back to how it was, right? And, I came up from 2014 was my last solid year of competition.
I remember.
Yeah, because then I went through hell at Roush, and then the year we ended up doing really good. Peace out, you're out. We're fourth in the points or whatever, and then obviously struggled with the 43. Had glimpses of hope every once in a while, but then 23 came about, and we had a new life brought into you. But I was still carrying over the mindset of I got to prove everybody wrong, instead of, hey man, you are f***ing good and you're here for a reason. Go out and find that and go have fun with that. So
you wear your feelings on your sleeve. I love that about you, because not all the guys do, but man, you deserve this.
Yeah, thanks.
And that's the thing that you don't need to struggle with.
Yeah.
Get out.
And I think like even like being at the shop now, like instead of just even after a bad race, like last night I was super pissed. I was super frustrated, and I found myself like I don't know how it came across in interviews, but I was laughing and tried to put on a persona, but obviously still pissed, but kind of managing your emotions in a better way, right? But then, like, even going to the shop here in a minute, I have a ton of questions that I want to figure out on, like, if we went back to Daytona tomorrow, like, okay, I'm invested in this. How do we make both of our cars better and to not show up the way we did and not have the same finish?
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Bubba, for joining us. I cannot wait to see that Moneyline teal paint scheme on track this weekend.
Money teal. I can't. I'm not going to miss it. So.
You'll miss it.
Don't forget, everyone who's listening, be sure to subscribe to our new Door Bumper Clear YouTube channel. I hear there's going to be a competition between us and Denny's podcast. So, I don't know, Bubba, maybe you just tell people to subscribe to ours over Denny's would be a great suggestion.
That's fine. Do that.
That's easy.
Either way, thank you, Bubba. Thank y'all for joining us, and have a great week.
We out.
Word.
Later.
Holla.
Made it.